My name is Dave. I am starting this channel, and this is my intro to it. This is about my weight loss, get healthy, turn my life around journey. And by turn my life around, I mean, get healthy. Get rid of some of the problems I'm reacquiring, and I'll get back into that in a minute. And this is really more of that. This is what that's about. Now, if you're interested in following a older guy trying to lose weight and get healthy, then go ahead and subscribe to this because this is what it's about. So, let me give you a little history about me. I'm 51 years old currently as the release date of this video. I will be 52 in about 5 days. I have cooked ever since I was about 12 years old. The first thing I learned to cook was spaghetti and meatballs, or spaghetti and meat sauce. So it wasn't really considered that healthy. Back then it was acceptable, but I mean now it's a lot of carbs. I did a lot of teaching myself new recipes and figuring out recipes and really kind of a lot of the older style cooking, which is, it tastes good, but it's really not that good for you. So a lot of my habits developed like that. Around the time my son was born, my first son was born, I was diagnosed with diabetes. That was about 9 to 10 years ago. I think it was 10 years ago. I think I was 42 at the time. Somewhere around in there. And when I was diagnosed, I followed the doctor's instructions to the letter. He basically said, hey, you need to start injecting insulin. This is how you do it. They gave me insulin to start injecting. They also said I had high blood pressure, and they started me on finding the proper medication for it. No talk about changing your lifestyle, no talk about changing your diet, any of that. It was all about medication. I hate medication, but this was new, so I had no idea. They also said I was high cholesterol. So, fast forward about 5 years. 47 years old. We've already moved here to Minnesota. And I'm 361 pounds. When I was diagnosed, I was I wasn't thin, but I was about 240. So I put on a lot of weight. And I was feeling horrible. I was injecting insulin. Because I was told I was type 1 diabetic. By this endocrinologist. I was taking 2 different types of blood pressure medications several times a day. I was taking anti-cholesterol medications, and I was sleeping with a BiPAP machine. Now, this stuff wears on your body, and the weight wears on your body. And I had trouble even walking to the corner. I mean, it was walking any kind of distance was painful. It was tiring. I was out of breath constantly. And my wife had already started with her weight loss journey, and I saw that she was getting results, and I thought, you know what? I've got to try something. I've got to do something. Otherwise, my kids are going to grow up without a father. So that year, at 47 years old, I started to diet or change my eating patterns, change my lifestyle. I started walking to the corner and back just to start walking and getting movement. I cut all carbs completely out of my diet. And I started losing weight. And I was checking in with the doctor to make sure because of the other issues I had. Well, what I found is as I lost weight, my insulin was overacting. It was causing me to have sugar crashes a lot. And so I went in for more testing with a new doctor, a general practitioner, and they discovered I wasn't type 1 diabetic, I was actually type 2. And my losing weight was actually, and my change of my diet was actually counteracting my insulin. So I ended up getting off the insulin and controlling my sugar with my diet. I then started realizing that I was getting really lightheaded when I would do any kind of activity. And it turned out that the blood pressure medications were causing it. I went to the doctor, and she slowly weaned me off the blood pressure medications, which, you know, if you have this stuff in your system, you have to keep feeding it. If you drop it off, it can be catastrophic. So at least the ones I was taking. So they worked me off of that, and all this time I'm losing weight. I'm actually starting to move. I'm starting to walk further. At this point, it was snowing here in Minnesota, so we ended up getting a membership to a gym at the time, and I would go there after work. On my way home from work, I'd stop in, go to the gym, change, go get on the treadmill, walk till I was comfortable, and run as much as I could. Didn't push it, didn't want to hurt myself, because, you know, I'm still overweight at this point. And slowly, over about a year and a half, I ended up losing all the way down to 212 pounds. Now, this is fast forward, and I'm maintaining this, and I'm struggling at this point trying to get down to those last 210. My goal was 210, and I was struggling to get there. I was bouncing back and forth. I needed to make adjustments. And in the midst of all this, 2019, still maintaining the weight loss, got into a car accident. I couldn't run for a while. I couldn't exercise. I still maintained my diet, and I was fluctuating up a little bit, but coming back down with the diet. And once my leg finally healed enough, I was able to exercise a little bit, but I went back to the same routine I was at prior. So I ended up hurting my leg again, and repeatedly, and hurt my foot. And once I was finally able to start running, I turned 50. I was starting to run again. I was starting to get back into exercise again. 2020 hit. I'm back down to 214. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic. Let me tell you something. Depression and the fear of all this stuff really does affect you. And I ended up, over this past year and a half that we've been home and, you know, dealing with all this stuff, my weight's gone back up. About the middle of August, started the path again, and I was up to 302 pounds. So I had put on a lot of weight. We weren't exercising. We were screwing off with our food, which we shouldn't have been doing. And I put on a lot more weight than I thought I had. We had tried to restart the diet a couple times, but at that point it was, well, why? You know, but it's getting to the point where it's getting critical again. I need to start this. So this is my journey. This is where I start to drop back down to 210. That is my goal. 210 pounds with movement and exercise. Now, the reason why I'm doing this channel is because when I was looking for resources on how a 50 plus adult male loses weight, or things they can do, or any of that stuff, I got a lot of the surgery stuff. I got a lot of the drug thing. I got a lot of that stuff, and people who had already lost weight with no real showing how they're doing it and the process during it. It's more of after the fact. Hey, this is how I lost weight. And I'm kind of doing that now with you with the previous one, but I'm not going to go into major detail. I'm telling you, you have to count your calories, or this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to count my calories. I'm going to make sure in the beginning I'm getting no more than 1,800 calories a day. That's a lot, especially if you really track what you eat. In fact, most days I won't even get to that. I'm going to, as soon as I can, start moving and walking. Now, here's a little caveat. I have a injury on my foot right now. Being diabetic, I couldn't feel my toes properly, and I had an ingrown toenail that came in the front of my toe. So it keeps reopening. So I'm having to forego exercise for now and just manage my weight with diet. This is not ideal. You have to move and change your lifestyle. So once I'm able to start exercising, I will. Once I'm able to start running again, I will. I hate running. I absolutely hate running. But I have to get going again. So if you're interested in seeing this journey, go ahead and subscribe. I will be doing check-ins on Instagram. I will be doing end of the week check-ins where I'm going to weigh in on Wednesdays. I will prepare the video with a end of the week process of how my week went, and I'll be releasing that on Fridays. And Fridays, I will be releasing an overall end of week. This is how the week went. This is what I did throughout the week to try to combat snacking and different things like that. Instagram, the name of the Instagram channel is Dave Mazer Fits. That one, and I'll have links in the description for this. That one I'm going to have just images of what I'm doing. I'll have little stories that I'm going to bring up and how my week's going. And I'm also going to be getting on Twitch to try to distract myself during snack times and, to chat. And just if you're watching this video and you see me online playing a video game, jump on and I'll chat with you. If you're having a hard time keeping on track and keeping straight, let me know. I'll watch the chat and I'll try chatting back with you, and we can encourage each other. Most men don't have this, so I'm hoping this will help. For me and for anybody else out there that needs the assistance, let's do this together. I think that's pretty much it. This is the beginning of my journey back to healthy again. And hopefully I found some of the pictures throughout the time that I can intermix in here. And we'll hopefully see you guys throughout this journey. Once again, I'm Dave, and I'll be talking to you later in the week.